2 reacting to 600-pound life star who refused to grow up. Let's get to it.
After being fed over
Am I a
50,000
hater?
calories a day by
I might
her
be.
overbearing mother and ending up weighing over 750 pounds,
Damn.
Margaret has one of the craziest stories on My 600-Pound Life and features one of the most dysfunctional and toxic mother-daughter dynamics
I was one of those. Okay.
However, Margaret's story starts out a bit differently, as she doesn't actually choose to take part in the show, but rather is forced into it against her own free will.
Wait.
Her attitude throughout shows.
So you
This
think
is
she-
because Margaret had a pretty bad fall and ends up hospitalized at Dr. Now's facility, as the original hospital she went to didn't have the capability to look after a patient of her size.
No!
She's
Come
one of
on,
the
man.
heaviest patients ever on the show.
Wow.
That she weighs over 750 pounds in the beginning.
Wow.
But in reality, this could be even higher. She hasn't been able to
Wow.
weigh herself in years. To make matters worse, the last time Margaret got out of bed was 6 months ago, meaning that she's likely gained even more weight in the past few months as she become immobile, and her body is burning even less calories than before. To understand how she got to her size, Dr. Now has to do
that
some
put-
digging. With Margaret now
on the
immobile,
screen.
someone had to be bringing her the food, because it's not like she can get
Oh
up and walk
my.
around to get it.
Who takes care of
My.
you at home?
My mom.
So your mom has any weight problem?
She had the gastric bypass.
So she had gastric bypass. Why is she providing you too much food?
I'm saying though.
You at this weight.
Because it's easier not to fight me.
Learning that Margaret's mother brings her food because she doesn't want to fight her is
What?
honestly pretty disappointing. And some
Fight what, bitch? You can't move. What is there to fight? All you gonna do is yell. I can lock the door. You gonna get out of breath and stop talking.
something we see far too often on
What?
the show. And to be honest, I find it personally hard to understand the logic to begin with.
I'm saying.
Your mother should want the best
For your
for
child.
her, like being able to live independently and have a healthy lifestyle. But instead, she feeds her enormous amounts of food all throughout the day. And as we'll come to see, her mother is actually quite nasty about her size too. To not only maintain her size, but gain additional weight, Margaret would have had to be eating 20 to 30,000 calories every single day.
What?
If not more.
Wait, no, that's really crazy. Nigga, 3,000. That's like, you're supposed to eat like, what, how many calories a day, Chad? If you're not active, like 2,000? So you eat enough for 10 people a day? Oh my.
This is more food than the average person should be eating in 1 week, let
1
alone
week?
1 day.
Yeah.
Once, but Margaret's mother also had a
That's
gastric bypass
10 days.
herself,
I guess a week and a
meaning that she was
half.
considerably overweight and should know the risks associated with the morbid obesity. If she knows this, then why on earth is she continuing to feed her daughter this way? The worst part about all of this is the fact that
Oh.
Margaret wasn't even considering to begin losing weight and was only brought to the hospital because of the fall. But it might have actually been the best thing that happened to her, as it
Okay.
might finally be the first step towards a healthier weight and lifestyle.
Did she
Now,
ever
you
lose
must
it?
be wondering how she got here, and Margaret reveals some of the causes for her food obsession, and it's honestly quite heartbreaking.
I've had abusive life.
Okay.
What do you mean, abusive by your parents or your family or who?
My family, especially my dad.
Oh.
I see. So you ate to deal with that.
Yes, food's my comfort. I can hide underneath it, and nobody knows what's going on in my life.
During her time in the hospital,
Uh.
Margaret comes to realize that she's shockingly close to death, as her body is just struggling to cope at her size. She claims she wants to change and would like to have the weight loss surgery, but the reality is she's done nothing so far to show that she wants to change.
Margaret, you be 129. 129 is very high BMI, okay?
Wait, 129 BM. It go that high? I thought it should stop at 25. Or 30. No, stop at like 40. 100 and... What?
Very
No.
dangerous situation you're in, so you have to change your life and you have to try harder, okay? While you're here, we can control your eating habit, but when you go home, you're gonna be on your own. And this is gonna be the test for you. If you go home and you're not able to change your eating habit, there's nothing we can do for you, okay? So I'm gonna give you some instruction I want you to read. So break down what you can eat and cannot eat to do the diet and what healthy eating is. So you need to follow it to where you have some meaningful changes on your eating habit that's gonna show on your scale, okay? All right,
The situation is deeply pathological, as Margaret has never seriously attempted weight loss before and doesn't exactly have the best support with her. Her mother is
her
the
mama-
enabler, meaning that she's the main person who is directly
Damn.
affecting Margaret's weight gain, as she's the one bringing her the food. Margaret is always given into her.
Is that even a salad at that point? That's just dressing the chicken.
Always saying yes to an additional serving or a sweet treat. This will be the biggest challenge of her life, learning to limit her intake and just to say no to extra food. Margaret's physical condition at the time of arriving at the hospital was so severe that she had to stay for an extra 2 weeks. And during this time, she actually lost 30 pounds in just a few days.
Damn.
When people are this morbidly obese, like Margaret at 750 pounds, being placed on a 1,200 calorie diet makes the weight fall off very quickly, as the body just isn't getting the same amount of intake.
Yeah, that's all that fat get it,
This is
it up.
because morbidly obese individuals often experience faster initial weight loss due to factors like a higher rest and metabolic rate, which is just the amount of calories that they need to maintain their size. And they have a large amount of fat to burn. By the end of her hospital stay, Margaret has lost an incredible amount of weight in such a short time.
While she's been here, we had her on a controlled diet. And in 2 weeks, we have been able to get her weight down 67 pounds from when she arrived.
67 pounds in 2 weeks? Damn it.
Now she's at 685. So we have made some progress on that front with her.
But
And we
damn, that's
have
still a lot,
also
though.
been providing her physical therapy to help her get up and walk. She pushed back some, but overall she's doing well. And we have her moving in the right direction now. So the next step is for her to show me she can do this on her own if she
okay.
wants to continue. Hopefully Margaret and her mom Millie are as serious as they are telling me. Because they
That mom gonna give her the food that she want right after this video.
if Margaret
Like-
is gonna have any chance of success.
Right after this clip, she's about to feed this girl face.
Lost at home, Margaret is placed on the same diet and given a goal of 30 pounds weight loss each month, with a goal to lose 100 pounds over the course of 3 months. I just want to interrupt here and quickly. My always been obsessed with food for
W
as long as
click.
she can remember. She also reveals that her and her sisters never had much food when they were young, as their dad was over 1,000 pounds, and feeding him first was
What?
their mother's priority. This meant
Everyone, nigga, what? Our bodies can get that big? Most I seen was 800. That ain't that far off though, but damn. 4 digits, niggas on a scale like that?
that the children often went hungry and didn't get enough to eat, forced to eat his scraps, as he
What?
was an enormous amount
That's
of
some
food.
like movie shit.
You'd be right here. She had to be right there. That's how he was. You want to hide your feelings away from him. Because if you argued with him, then he would call us names and just be very mean. So
I don't know, nigga, name calling it, that shit never work on me. That fat ass, like, bro, nigga, 1,000 pounds, you my dad, bro, cussing at me, nigga, and I have to make the food, you're gonna fucking starve.
I learned to sneak into the kitchen. And I ate his food to get back at him. When I ate my dad's food, it was for revenge. So he wouldn't have it for himself.
She'd get up in the middle of the night. If we had something left over in the icebox, she'd go in there and she would make it look like she didn't eat it, but she did eat it.
That's how I got to 120 pounds by the time I was 6. That's when I was diagnosed with early signs of
Oh, and then you shit. Are you having other songs or something?
Yeah. Thank you.
Look.
diabetes and an eating disorder.
As Margaret piled on the weight quickly from her binge eating, Millie, Margaret's mother, became concerned that this would start to negatively impact her health, especially given the
Damn, yeah.
diabetes diagnosis.
Oh, shit,
she
diabetes?
put Margaret on a diet and she started to lose weight.
Damn.
But this took a turn for the worse, as it took Millie's attention away from her dad, causing him to have massive outbursts. To get the
Bruh,
children
that's your
away from
kid,
the conflict,
yeah.
Millie
Big
sent them to
ass.
her father's parents' house, where unfortunately the abuse continued to get even worse. Her grandmother would force Margaret to to eat large amounts of food as punishment.
What?
An unfortunate
What?
common theme of abuse with stars on the show. Millie eventually
What type
found
of
out about the abuse and sent the children to live with her sister instead. And finally, she enjoyed her time living at her auntie's house, as this meant she could eat whatever she wanted without being punished or made fun of. However,
Wait,
this quickly
but-
escalated to the point where Margaret was pushing 300 pounds
Damn.
at 15 years old.
Damn.
Margaret had no friends by the time she finished high school and was unable to get a job because of her weight. And by the time she was 20, she was pushing 500.
What? How could you afford all this food with no job? What? Nah, y'all fat. Oh, my fault. Y'all overly weight people. How do y'all afford all this? Like, what? What is y'all be having this like y'all be having motion? What do y'all do? Like, what?
Pounds. This meant that everyday tasks were
How are you getting that?
massive
How are you
challenge
paying for the food
her,
like this?
Like driving and chores around the house. Unable to work, Margaret applied for disability payments and
Okay.
just decided to give up.
She would just sit there and urinate on herself, and that's pretty much.
Like, that's the craziest thing though. They get that big and can't move, so they shit and piss on themselves. They're creating a biome on their body filled with maggots and like just baked, like all type of shit. Like,
Where she stayed. I mean, she was always a lonely child to begin with, and now she was being alienated and thinking, Mama don't love me, she's abandoned me. Then self-destruct.
Things
So-
just
Struck.
continued to go on a downward spiral, and before she knew it, Margaret was 750
Damn.
pounds and completely dependent on Millie for absolutely everything. Her first day back from the hospital.
Oh,
She started to research as
okay.
to why she can't do any exercises with her new PT. That doctor now said.
I don't know about
In a
looking
very
at all
strange
that.
encounter, Millie is extremely.
You know, I feel so bad for the camera crew because they don't got the blurred. Shit. The camera crew don't got the blurred. Oh my! They seen that shit in 4K high resolution. Oh my god.
Rude to the PTs.
No,
Explain
no.
to them why Margaret doesn't want to do the session.
It's just been tough. I mean, it's been tough. I can't tell you how many times a week she tells me she quits.
Dr. Now, he needs you to get up because of the blood
Good.
clot and everything else. You already have a history of DVT.
Yeah, I know, but they keep pushing on you and they keep pushing on me. I'm sick of it.
You're not doing
What you yelling at? Matter of fact.
Just leave me alone, Mom.
No, I'm not.
I'm assuming that was her mom.
It's all about what you want.
Okay, fine, I quit.
It's all about what you want, bitch. You're 750.
I'll call you next week and we can reschedule.
Okay, I don't know how quickly we'll be able to get scheduled next week because we really moved things around to see her. There's not any way she'll do any PT today to make sure that she can get scheduled for surgery.
Eventually, after reconsidering, Margaret consents to meet with the PTs for her session. It's worth noting here that completing these sessions with PTs is essential for weight loss surgery, something that Margaret was desperate for, yet she isn't really pushing herself to complete the first session.
They're nice people, and they got my best interest at heart.
So why are you acting
Make
like
on the
that?
right day, and we can work together some more. That
On
would
the
be good
right
when we do
day.
that. In the meantime, I'll do more on my own and with my mama.
All
No, you're
Good
not.
working with you, and we will hopefully see you soon.
Oh no! Oh my gosh! The camera crew, they had to see this shit like all resolute. Like no, they don't have. Oh my gosh! Cause somebody had to see this unedited. Oh my! I feel bad. Oh my gosh! My fault. It's on the screen for too long. That's on
All
me.
right. It was good working with you, and we will hopefully see you soon.
From the session with the PTs, we learn that the only pain Margaret has with her mobility is her knees when she walks. She doesn't have any pain or any other issues elsewhere in her body. This means that there's plenty of other opportunity to work out, like the shoulders, arms, chest, or back. But let's see if Margaret will continue to do this, or if she will
She's
give up
not.
like she's pretty much doing already. In an effort to get her to walk, Millie encourages Margaret to just take a few steps on her walker.
Push, 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 push.
Get up! Get up! Get up! You feel me?
It'll be worth it. Is this not what we've wanted for 7 years?
Things quickly get heated when Margaret eventually gives up, claiming it's too
shit.
hard and she's in too much pain. Now, it's no doubt that it is painful for her. Carrying around 600 pounds with you puts an enormous strain on your body. But Margaret can barely last a few seconds, let alone a few minutes, without turning negative.
I'm done.
I'm
I just
done.
want you to walk
Yeah,
one more
man.
time and then back.
I'm done. This is where you get me right now.
See, look, I'm not helping you get back to the bed, bitch. You're doing it by yourself. You're not done yet, because you got to go back in the bed. And who's going to help you? Not me. Because who you got your attitude? Like, what? I'm here to help you. You want some? I'm done. I'm done. Stop talking to me, bitch. You better get in that bed by yourself
Get
then.
over this. I feel sorry for Margaret.
Mama, shut
No,
the hell
I'm
up.
not.
Like, who's you
But
talking
it's
to?
very important that he sees you're moving. I've let you get away with this way too long. Now it's time to get up. Now come on,
Why are you pushing me?
because I am.
Why are you
I'm gonna go
pushing
get
me
my
so,
clothes
bitch?
on.
Now, fast forward into month 3,
Because she wants you to lose the weight.
£100.
So much she lost.
After Millie can't take her to her appointment, they have to do a video call instead,
Mhm.
which means that she won't be able to get weighed and see the physical progress there on the scale. It's also not a very good excuse, as Margaret has had this appointment booked for months and could have told Millie she would be needing transport to the hospital. It seems to me like this is the perfect excuse not to go, as it's likely she knows she hasn't lost any weight at all.
You haven't been cooperating with them most days.
No, that's not it. They haven't been coming consistently for physical therapy.
They have.
Why are you capping for?
turned them away a lot of times.
Should be lying for what?
Absolutely shocking to
You
hear
thought that was gonna work? Like they had the footage of them coming to your house, and you yelling at your mama to turn them away. Like y'all gotta be as good as lying as y'all are good as eating. You feel me? Like y'all be eating plenty, but y'all can't lie for shit. Like
has been turning the page.
let's really let's do better.
That they haven't been
At least lie with some. Feel me?
Dr. Now is really concerned that Margaret is just completely wasting his time and needs to see her in person to examine her and most importantly, check she's actually lost any weight at all.
I don't have a ride.
Margaret, you can use Metrolift.
I've not heard nothing about Metrolift.
Despite all of his efforts, Margaret still refused to go. So they ended up rescheduling the appointment for a month later. Now me personally, I don't understand how Dr. Now has this much time for patients who are just completely wasting his time. If this was me, I'd probably be a bit more brutal and just kick them off the program early. But Dr. Now isn't as brutal as me, and Margaret does make it to the hospital. The last time she was at the hospital, she weighed 685 pounds, a big loss from her initial weight of over 700.
That's damn near 100.
At the clinic, Margaret surprisingly lost 53 pounds.
Okay.
Making her new weight 632 pounds.
She lost some,
This
she
is
lost
a
some.
total weight loss of 120 since starting the treatment. A massive achievement for Margaret. Even though the majority of the weight was lost while she was at hospital, it is good to see that she's continued to lose weight at home, which honestly is surprising considering she seemed like she wasn't very motivated and kept turning the PTs away. Dr. Now's next steps for Margaret are to start psychotherapy, continue sessions with the PT,
Psychotherapy,
and most importantly,
okay.
start walking more. If she can accomplish all of these tasks, then Margaret
Well, I can really get it, really get that weight down. I ain't gonna lie, I really do.
Hearing that she's so close to weight loss surgery is a game changer for Margaret. She honestly gets quite emotional.
To do weight loss surgery, then we're gonna approve you for that. But all those things, okay?
Sorry. Damn, man, you weeping.
You just made her day. I told her we left all the Debbie Downers and we were gonna get this. Not the same girl you met back in the hospital, is it?
No,
You got it.
she might be.
Got it.
Oh my God.
We've tried this
I
so
would
many
love to
times.
give you a kiss.
Don't threaten that nigga. He's trying to help you. Don't do that.
You were my godsend.
You're gonna be one of her first dance partners after she gets down to where she can stand up and walk.
You're my godsend.
Well, I'm proud of the progress.
That boy ain't trying to hear
We
that.
can get you to weight loss surgery safely and make sure that everything's gonna be all right for you.
A month later, Margaret should be in a position where she's ready for surgery. She's been seeing her PT and started to walk more, although she still does use a wheelchair for the most part. But unfortunately for Margaret, she got far too excited far too soon, as it's clear her exercise sessions with the PT weren't enough to shift the weight, as she's only lost 5 pounds in the time since her last appointment.
No.
It's down to 626 pounds. Dr. Now clearly isn't impressed, and an argument between him and the pair quickly ensues.
Both of you went back to your old habits.
We don't know what we did wrong. She's still eating the same way. I mean, yesterday she
Okay,
didn't have
hold on right there, okay?
overeating.
Just hold on. And like you don't know what is going on, there's a simple math. You're eating too much, you're not gonna lose weight.
Yeah.
Which part of this is very hard?
How do you eat? How are you eating 30,000? How are you eating 30,000 calories a
What
day?
you should be eating. So why are we overeating and playing like we don't know what's going on?
But she didn't overeat. She's still eating.
You want to
the
argue
same-
that with the scale? Don't argue with me.
But
You argue
didn't
that with the
overeat.
scale.
She couldn't overeat. I gave her proportioned meals, and it's the same as I've always given her. Is she quit eating the vinaigrette and ate honey mustard dressing.
She eat what, a gallon of honey mustard?
Now I don't know how much she put on her
It's-
salad,
The 2 cups.
but I can tell you that's the only difference.
So she's gaining from thin air, right? She's
Well, I
gaining
don't know
weight.
how she done it. This is what I know. I'm the one that fixes her meals unless she's getting up when I'm not there.
No,
Getting up?
I'm not getting up, and I promise you that. But I don't know.
Did you quit exercising during the
No.
day?
For her to be 600 pounds and keep that 600 pounds, she's eating 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day.
The excuses coming from Millie are pretty ridiculous. She thinks that the only
Yeah.
reason she won't have lost weight is because she changed the salad dressing she was having, which clearly can't be responsible for this. There is another option, a more likely reason as to why Margaret hasn't been losing any weight, and that's down to her sneaking food when Millie isn't around. It's
saying,
definitely
gotta be
a likely
that.
theory, especially as Margaret has become increasingly more mobile the past few weeks and is able to walk for longer periods of time.
She get to that phone, start calling for food.
Walked to the fridge and took out some snacks for herself, or do you think that Millie is just overfeeding her? I also think it's strange that Millie
I feel like she went through that fridge a little bit.
when she talks to the doctor. I feel like if I was doctor now, I'd probably want some one-on-one time with Margaret just to get a real sense of what she's thinking. But anyway,
What I see from Margaret and Millie's choices this past month, elements where Millie tells Margaret positive things and pushes her to keep going and not quit. But those are all cliche. What matters is action. And it is very dangerous when you have a dynamic where someone talks to talk, but doesn't support
Talk to talk, but don't do
any of the
action, don't
choices
show
they
it.
make. I have no doubt that he loves Margaret and wants the best. She talks supportive, then contradict that with her action. So whatever progress they have will be short-lived. And unless they both start that process, we won't be moving ahead with Margaret.
I was disappointed.
disappointed with not losing the weight, Margaret is ready to give up yet again. Dr. Now asks that by her next appointment, she loses 35 pounds. Otherwise, she is going to get kicked off the program. Like I said about earlier.
I don't want to hear excuses. I don't want to see the tears. I don't want to see any drama that in here that we don't know what's going on and all these stories that none of
That
us
boy,
can
Dr.
wake
Now
up
was
on.
tired.
So from here, this
He
simple.
tired
I
of it.
want you to lose 35 pounds by next month and start seeing psychotherapy. If not, then we are not moving ahead with you.
A week later, Margaret realizes that weight loss surgery is the most important thing in her life right now. So she agrees to see a psychotherapist, even though she is totally against it. The therapist brings up some uncomfortable topics for Margaret, but surprisingly, even more uncomfortable for Millie.
My babies are my world.
Right. She's not a baby.
She's my baby.
Oh,
Your baby, and she's 35.
oh,
Still
damn.
my baby.
No.
She'll always be my baby.
You know, the word baby implies a lot of
You know, this reminds me of that one. It's not even a story, that real life event. What's Gypsy Rose. The mom, one of them. She's one of them. Where she feels like she has to be there for her child overly and controls them. And like, she just knows what's right, even though that shit's so damaging. Oh my. Oh.
care.
Oh wow.
She's my baby. She's the youngest.
I'm a little worried. So yeah,
The youngest, she don't look it.
Omari, we just started talking, but I think that's going to be my theme with you is making you not a baby. I think you must believe that the world is a dangerous place,
It is.
and
And
that
I'm
We
scared to
don't
let,
trust nobody.
and that and
I don't
that,
let nobody in.
and that people will hurt you, right?
Don't
Yeah.
hurt me. That's
But
the
when
thing.
you have a trust issue,
Fun shit broke my heart.
because I'm there too.
I'm going to push you guys to be a little bit more independent, and
How do you do that?
you practice. I want you guys to practice more and more times of independence for her. And you get to step back and you get to attend to your job and your relationships, and you're always going to be there for her. But you're
Correct.
going to be there for her in a way that's healthy and appropriate for a 35-year-old woman.
So more or less you're saying that I don't need her.
No,
No.
Margaret, he
The therapist really acknowledges that the relationship between Margaret and Millie is unhealthy.
What
Like
the
we
fuck?
saw earlier, Millie is way too involved in her daughter's life,
Same.
controlling every aspect of it. Mostly due to the fact that Margaret is fully immobile and can't fend for herself. In order to recover, Margaret really needs to increase her
Bro,
level of
that's scaring me.
independence, relying less on her mother to help her through life. The therapist also forced Millie to take accountability for her actions, realizing that she plays a huge part in getting Margaret to her size. But, as expected, Margaret doesn't take this very well and acts, rather ironically, just like a big
Margaret, you will all.
I need to let go of my comfort zone.
he's not saying you need to let go of me.
Let's take the food from her, so that's a comfort zone gone. Okay, now let's take the mother away from her. That's another comfort zone gone. Maybe we'll just keep breaking her and
Margaret.
breaking her and breaking her.
Margaret, your mother can be very present.
I'm done. I'm done.
Give me a
I'm done.
tea. Give me a
I'm
tea.
done.
I'm always gonna love you.
Dad.
Give me
Damn, you're 35. Lock the fuck in.
a tea.
Millie, do you notice in this moment that you're jumping in?
Because I know how stressful she is, and it is a meltdown, and she
Where's your other kids at? They don't get this much love, do they?
will want to resort to food.
And here's an opportunity.
Result of food, you don't have to bring the girl to food. Like, what?
Even in this little tiny moment, we're gonna let her have her feelings because I think she's capable of working through this.
Yeah, she's 35.
Help me.
So you're 35, can control your own feelings and work through the process and by yourself? You're 35 years of age. You can't go through your feelings, recount them, analyze them, and understand where you're coming from, and really try to build on a foundation like how to be better and like discern these emotions.
See the resistance?
Out of my house. Just go. Y'all just go. Get out of my house. I'm done.
Get off your house, bitch. You can't kick me out. You gonna hear about yourself. You gonna hear about yourself. I ain't gonna lie.
Margaret, I
I'm
have to
done. I'm
abandon you.
done. I'm done.
It's interesting. She's
Put the
getting
towel
up
back
in
on.
response to that. Isn't it neat that she's getting out of bed in this? But I want you to know
Dovey,
the urge right now.
that's
is to
rage bait, though.
Jump in and comfort her. And
That's my job.
I think of her as a grown-up adult. We've got to let her self-soothe, work on this on her own in order for her to realize that. The solution is to watch
Margaret,
her.
do you want your walker?
Take care
Do you
of
want your
herself.
she's a grown-ass woman. She'll get the walker. She want the walker.
Margaret, please do not try to walk without nothing.
Her response to a very simple question regarding her mother is shocking, as she chose to just completely run away from the conversation rather than take accountability. One important point that the therapist
That's
points
good.
out is that Millie and Margaret are together 100% of the
That's
time
kinda
when they're at
weird.
home. And even when Millie's at work, they're on the phone together for 7 to 8 hours.
What?
Makes her entire shift. Margaret is completely dependent on Millie for her physical and her emotional needs. And
Oh, well, that's
unfortunately,
bad.
She won't be able to lose the weight on her own if she can't become more independent and start her own life without relying on her mother. A month later, Margaret is back in Dr. Now's office for another weigh-in. If she'd stuck to the program properly, she should be down to under 600 pounds. And surprisingly, she actually does make this.
Okay.
Albeit by a thread, with her new weight of 595 pounds.
Damn, barely made it.
Below the 600 pound target. With her goal of a 35 pound weight loss, she makes it pretty close with 31 pounds. Dr. Now is pleased with this, but he still doesn't believe that Margaret is eating what she says she is. According to her and Millie, she's only eating 1 salad a day with no dressing and only drinking water. Now clearly, if this were true, she'd
Bro.
lose 3 to 4 times the weight she
Bro.
lost last month. So
Be
something
real.
really isn't adding up. A few weeks later, Margaret is back at the hospital, but this time it's not for a weigh. She's been experiencing extreme stomach pain and is admitted to the hospital immediately to find out the cause, as this level of pain is definitely not normal. Not only is this a health issue, but if there's something seriously wrong with Margaret, she may not be able to proceed with the weight loss surgery after all.
She
Okay.
started working with psychotherapy, which was the big step I wanted her to take. So because of all that and the fact that she hasn't started gaining weight and she's working with physical therapy off and on now, I'm willing to start the process with her to do weight loss surgery, starting with the testing. She has been complaining of stomach pain recently, so the priority is figuring out what could be causing that.
And she pregnant.
If there is something we need to address with her before we move ahead with anything. All right, you can turn right up. Okay.
From the endoscopy, doctor now finds that she has gallstones, a serious
Oh,
health concern for
shit.
sure, but nothing that'll get in the way for her weight loss surgery. Which
Gallstones, what's that?
that he will actually place her on the official waiting list for.
And since you lost some weight, we're gonna go ahead and put you on the schedule for weight loss surgery.
Damn, bitch, let her process it by herself a little bit. Damn.
Teamwork. We've been waiting to hear them words, ain't we? Pretty good words right there, ain't it?
Come on.
Pretty good words.
We got it, Mom.
We got it.
You got it.
That's what we saw.
We got our surgery.
We got it.
And we're there.
A month later, Margaret is finally prepped and ready for surgery.
Okay.
You got this.
It's been a hard, long month here in the hospital. But I feel really good about
I feel like that if mom could put some scrubs on, go in that bitch too, she would.
I'll be here when you wake up.
It's a really good feeling after everything I've been through.
Well, I have to come back for a wheelchair anyway.
All my trials and tribulations.
She said I'd come back for a wheelchair anyway. Come on. Damn, mom, leave.
It's
I'm
a
sorry.
success as the
She
surgery
a bit
went well
clingy.
with no issues and complications. For Margaret, this is a huge step forward and probably the biggest change she's ever made in her entire life. During the course of the program, Margaret has made good progress, although for the most part it has been pretty slow. If she's going to be able to continue the program, which will be for another 18 months before she's down to her goal weight, she'll need to resolve the issues she's facing in her home life in order to make a real change. It's incredibly important that Margaret continues going to therapy to work on her emotional issues, as these are just as important as her physical ones, and closely related to her weight gain, as she binge eats for comfort. If Margaret
What?
doesn't see the therapist, it would be very easy for her to slip back into her old habits and start eating again, which would have an incredibly negative effect and honestly dangerous on her weight loss surgery, and it would effectively reverse it. If Margaret continues to take steps in the right direction by seeing the PT, a therapist, and most importantly sticking to her diet, she'll be able to accomplish all of the things she's never had a chance to do. She's never been able to have a job, and she's been on disability since leaving school. She's never been able to drive a car, as soon as she was old enough to learn, she wasn't actually able to fit behind the wheel. Now, Margaret has lived a life behind closed doors, living
Damn,
behind
she's really a shit-in. That's crazy.
finally being given the opportunity to make her own decisions. A month after the surgery, Margaret is doing well. She's actually continued to see her therapist and her PT. And if you'd like to see how Margaret got on after a weight loss surgery, let me know in the comments and we can take a look at the Where Are They Now episode.
She didn't even
Now, if you want to
finish.
see some of the biggest enablers like Margaret who have ever
Yeah, we watching this one next. All right, y'all boys like, comment, subscribe, nigga. This dropping probably the next day.